Nobody in the village of Eschenwald liked the sound of bells, not because they weren't beautiful, but because every time the bells rang, a child disappeared the next morning. And the worst part? They never found a body. Eschenwald was a small village buried deep in the Alps, where winter didn't last 3 months, it lasted 9. Nights were so quiet you could hear your own breathing. There was an unspoken rule there. No one talked about it, but everyone followed it. During the days leading up to Christmas, after sunset, no child was allowed outside. Not to play, not to throw snowballs, not even to stand on the porch. I was 10 years old back then, and like most kids, I thought it was just a story adults told to scare us. That night, snow was falling hard. The wind screamed like something alive, shaking the windows. I was sitting by the glass, waiting for Santa. My mom told me to go to bed. "Santa doesn't come if you're awake," she said. I didn't listen. Around midnight, I heard it. Ding, ding, ding. It wasn't like Santa's bells. The sound was heavier, deeper, like it came from inside the forest. Then I heard something else, something being dragged across the snow. I slowly pulled the curtain aside. At first, there was only darkness. Then, a shadow. Tall, way too tall to be any man I'd ever seen. Curved horns rose from its head, its legs bent like an animal's, ending in hooves, and over its shoulder, a large black sack. That's when I knew. This wasn't Santa. This was Krampus. Years later, I learned the adults had always known. Krampus was older than Santa, older than Christmas itself. He wasn't evil. He was balance. Santa gave gifts to good children. Krampus took the bad ones away. He didn't kill them. He didn't hurt them. He took them somewhere they never stayed children. The next morning, the church bell rang, not for celebration, but for warning. Leon, the neighbor's kid, was gone. He was cruel. He bullied smaller kids, threw rocks at cats, and the night before, he'd snuck outside. The only thing they found were hoofprints in the snow. My grandfather had an old notebook filled with strange writings. One night, I finally asked him about it. He looked at me for a long time before speaking. "Krampus comes every year," he said, "but only when children forget what fear is." In the notebook, one line was underlined over and over. "If you hear the bells, don't breathe, don't look, and most importantly, don't answer." The next Christmas Eve, I was alone. My parents had gone to the next town. The power was out. I lit a candle. And then, ding, ding. But this time there was a voice, low, rough. "Armin." He said my name. The front door opened by itself. Cold air flooded the house. And there he was. His eyes weren't red. They were empty, black, like holes. He smiled, not a real smile, more like a crack in his face. "You weren't bad," he said, "but you saw me, and seeing is its own kind of sin." His sack moved. It was alive. Something inside it cried, whispered, made sounds that didn't belong to children anymore. "Do you want to know where Leon is?" he asked. He opened the sack. Leon wasn't there. Something else was. Something that used to be Leon. Blind eyes, a stitched mouth, a body bent and broken, like a man who'd lived 100 years. "Time works differently there," Krampus said. Then he made me an offer. He would let me live, on one condition. "Every year," he said, "you tell my story. You remind them I'm real. I agreed, because I had no other choice. Years have passed since then. I left Eschenwald long ago, but every year near Christmas, I hear the bells. And if you're hearing this story right now and you hear something outside, don't look, don't answer, because Krampus loves the ones who don't believe in him the most.